Humans on the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we're taking a look at the Master Duel ban list. Is going to be one of the biggest things people talk about because this is actually huge news we did not 100% see coming, and that is the fact that Master Duel has its own ban list already established upon sign-in for the very first time. It's not the OCG ban list, it's not the TCG ban list, it is actually a mix between the two. So it's crazy. It's almost like a Worlds ban list, how they would, based on, like, you know, the TCG and the OCG, kind of make a meld between the two and come up with their own list. So let's take a look because there's some huge differences here. All right, looking at everything here, obviously a bunch of regular stuff here. All this stuff is normally banned, painful choice, all this stuff. We'll stop when we see anything particularly interesting. Everything here looks good. Bunch of FDK stuff, bunch of stupid stuff, scientist metamorphosis. Still moving through here. Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, that's actually something that's not banned in the TCG. That's kind of nice to see, because that card's like crazy in like warrior decks, the Isold Turbo decks. Still moving through here. Everything here looks good. Lone Fire, Wind Up Hunter, the Volvo Chain, all this stuff. Let's see. Title and Redox and Blaster still banned. Good to see that stuff there. Gofu Ratpier, that's one that we have one at the TCG that is now banned. That's super interesting. Yeah, Ratpier, interesting, but I believe Drident's not on here at all. Barrage banned, Masterpiece banned, Set Rotation, we have Set Rotation at 1. This is officially banned here, and then some stuff that you probably like to see. Dragoon fully banned on this ban list as well. Oh shit, you can't even see this like final corner. Hold on, let me move my stupid head here. Hold on. No. There we go. All right. Coming down to this final corner here. So Set Rotation chilling. Mystic Mind completely banned. That is so great to see, but there's some other shit that's like gonna blow your mind, gonna blow your dick out of the water, and Dragoon finally banned. Everything else here looks good, except there are some things missing. We'll get to those in a second. Other than that, moving on to the limited list. Skimming through here, again, nothing too crazy. Terraforming still limited, good to see. IO still limited, unfortunately. Sark, Arm Knight, 1-for-1, Gateway, all this stuff, nothing too crazy. Vanity's Emptiness is a really big one. That's actually kind of insane. Brilliant Fusion is actually at 1 now. That's also interesting. Dragon Buster and Toad, that is actually huge. A lot of people love Sharks. It's been a really fun rogue deck at the moment, but Toad at 1, I mean, I guess they do still have Kraken, but like 1 Toad definitely hurts for sure. And then the ABC Buster Dragon, we have the Therians coming out, and that was going to be a huge deck for ABC, but I don't know with Buster at 1 if it's going to really be good enough. Maybe it still is, but I don't know. Drident comes off at 1 for us. Astrograph comes off at 1 for us. Those are two big ones. If we're going to take away Ratpier and Barrage, at least we get Drident. So maybe Zoo Try, maybe a thing again. And then Astrograph, interesting. Cool to see that. Chronograph and Double Iris back to 1 on this ban list. Kind of a shame to see Iris back to 1, but I believe we didn't see Electromite on the forbidden list, so we have him on the limited list here, which is crazy. Hulk as well. I don't think this really does much. I don't think either of these really do much. Most duels that decks are using these are only going to use 1 anyway. You go combo, you win the duel. So I don't really know that. Dark Worm randomly at 1, okay. Or for Scorpio randomly at 1, okay. I guess for like Brilliant Fusion stuff. True King of All Calamities back at 1. Virtual World's probably a fucking threat again now. That's not good. Trickstar Light Stage at 1, as well as Reincarnation. Like, my whole thing was, I was like, if we put Reincarnation to 1, we can take Light Stage off, right? Because then we're not as worried about Reincarnation droll bullshit. But I guess no. I guess we got to keep both. Maybe we'll get Light Stage off at some point. That would be kind of cool. Keeping the moving going. Metaverse still at 1. Skuldred actually to 1. I think that's cool. I think, like, we never really saw those decks really come too much into the forefront of the meta, but like we were always scared that like those 2 or 3 star Yuja turbo decks were like crazy. Multi-Faker to 1 definitely hurts their consistency for sure, but I don't think it kills them. I think they still mostly work the same. Reboot still at 1. Kagari down to 1, and I think you might have noticed no engage on the limited or the forbidden section. That is huge. Strikers, I mean, Kagari to 1 is definitely big for them, so it does take away a little bit of their grindability, repeated grindability, but maybe engage to 3 just makes up for that, having like a power spout like that. Hornet Drone still at 1, Pank still at 1, our Harpour off the ban list to 1. I know that seems crazy, but if you go down this line, you also see that Galatea's at 1, and so is Gearsu. So unfortunately, Harp is cool to have back at 1, but that engine is so fragile now, because once they go through the first Galatea, they're not doing much, but who knows? We'll see. Also get Colossus back to 1, but we do have 2 more hits to that deck in the form of Dragonhawk, and I believe there's a card on the semi-limited list as well. So a little bit of consistency taken away from the Thunder Dragon engine, but a lot of times all you need is 1 Colossus, so I do still think that's a buff there. Gazelle's still at 1, Verte to 1, it's like the same thing as like Electromite and Hauck, like what's the point? Whatever. Zeus to 1, I actually kind of like this. It makes like pure Zoo not as playable, which I think is a good thing overall. Like, it just felt like such an abuse of the card. I get it, it's like an interesting style of deck that we don't see enough, like a ton of, but it's like literally a deck that doesn't activate any effects, and then you just have 2 Zeus activations, and that's kind of broken. But they still have 1, so it's still a power card for those kinds of decks, but just not those like Zeus turbo decks, which I think is fine. And then Nadir, that's actually pretty big. That hurts IDS decks a good little amount. Takes away 2 of their huge power cards. Not that it kills them by any means, but it's something. Then moving to the semi-limited list, we get Scapegoat back to 2. That's cool for Trickstars. Hopefully we get Light Stage back to 3 soon. That'd be cool. Malicious, arguably the only card in history that should be on the semi-limited list. Super Poly, whatever. The beginning of the end, kind of a crazy draw card, but okay. Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon should be off. Emergency Teleport, cool. Mass Change 2, weird. Gamma, that kind of sucks because it makes Gamma, like, instead of being able to play like 3 crazy power cards with 1 brick, you have to play 2 to 1. It's only a 2 to 1 ratio. I don't know if that's going to be worth all the time, but whatever. Meltdown, that's another consistency card for the IDS decks, I guess. So there's 3 cards they lose from their deck, which is interesting. Harmonizing to 2, sure. I mean, most of the time they're searching Harmonizing, if I believe correctly, so whatever, but I guess that's a small pendulum thing. Oviraptor to 2, whatever. Called by the Grave to 2, that actually matters for sure. Combo decks and whatnot. Engage to 2. Okay, so Engage is not at 3, but it is at 2, and Widow Anchor is also at 2. So Kagari to 1, but you trade off by getting an extra copy of Engage and also losing a copy of Widow Anchor. So is it fully worth? I don't know. I still think they're probably decent though. The Dragon Roar, like I showed you before, and Jackalope appears to be the only danger on the list put to 2, which is kind of weird. He could, if the rest are at 3, like just put Jackalope to 3. Memories of Hope, random draw card for like the Numeron decks, weird. And then Cursed Eldland, the last card here at 2, hurting just like the startability of Eldritch a little bit, but whatever at the same time. So really weird ban list. A couple huge things to note. Max C is not on this ban list anywhere, literally anywhere. So Max C is 100% legal in this format. That is something that we have not seen since the game sped up for so long in the TCG. So get ready to get used to Max C. I would recommend trying to get those as early as possible, or as quick as you can. 2, Block Dragon is not banned at all anywhere on here, and Adamancipator is at 100% full power. So that may be the best deck in the game, although Max C still does exist, so you have to temper your expectations there. At least Max C checks that deck, you know what I mean, to a decent extent. Everybody's going to be playing 3 Max C, I would assume, out the gate. And the last thing off the top of my head to note, and I'm sure there's other stuff too that I just don't know off the top of my head, I'd have to go back and look at the ban list we have right now, is that grass looks greener, completely off the list, as well as Fairy Tale Snow. One thing that's really crazy is that when we had the grass still, we didn't really have those chaos decks out yet fully, like maybe it's a little bit but not fully, which we now have all that stuff for. Thunder Dragons have cards back from this ban list, so now that becomes a thing. And Also, we have Eldritch. So like Eldritch being played as an engine there, cards that you don't mind drawing, but also are amazing mill targets. That's one of the problems with like the grass decks, is like a hefty portion of your deck would just be kind of bricks that you want to mill more than anything, and half of your deck would be like kind of power starter cards that you don't really want to mill, but you would rather draw. Eldritch is kind of the best of both worlds. You don't mind if you draw them, you don't mind if you mill them. It's good either way. You just want to see them. So that's another engine that gets to get utilized with that deck. So we might see some of that stuff, and obviously snow being legal is like also like just fucking insane. So we will see what happens there. Yeah, so obviously I'm gonna leave it off here. Like there's probably other stuff we could talk about. Let me know in the comment section down below if there's anything specific that you also noticed that is not on this ban list at all. Oh, no Meow Meow Mew we didn't see, so Prank Kids full power. I don't think we have any Bode stuff, so no DPE in the game yet. No Sword Soul in the game yet. We'll see what happens with that stuff. But let me know your thoughts down below if there's anything else that isn't banned on this list that it's something to definitely keep an eye on as far as where the format goes. I would expect this to probably get a pretty quick ban list with stuff like Adamantipator at full power running around again. Just 'cause Block Dragon's so crazy, man. The card is so crazy. But yeah, that's that's it. I just want to go over the ban list because this is some crazy shiz. I am very excited to get into this game. I've got to work in like, what is this, 3 hours? I got to get up for work. I may not be going to bed to get up for work. I may just be playing this game until then, because I'm just excited to do this. I've got a ton of, I'm very excited to do a ton of content from this game. It's going to be a blast. Hopefully we can start streaming soon. That's on me. I've been kind of just nervous to start, but eventually we'll get there. Sorry about the rambling at the end of the video. That's gonna do it for me here. Thank you so much for watching. As always, let me know your thoughts down below and if you're hyped for this game like I am, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Oh shit.